Alright, this video is on how to install the Zulu nylon gear P90 sling. When you receive your sling, it's going to be rigged up in a fashion that roughly resembles how it will look once it's mounted. So that'll help you understand how this all goes together. So first thing, I'm going to take my front quick adjust section here and I'm going to mount that to the front of the receiver. So you'll notice here I've got this loop, tri-glide, hook and loop. Okay, I'm going to get some slack here in my quick adjust so that I can run this out a little ways. And I'm going to undo this hook and loop here. Pull that out of the tri-glide, and I'm just going to run it around the front of the receiver. Okay, and now you can see I'm going to slot this back through the tri-glide in the same fashion with the free end going towards the underside. I'm going to mate that hook and loop together. Okay, make sure that those are lined up. And then I'm going to pull that tight. And as I work the slack out of this, I want this lined up so that the tri-glide sits on the front face of the receiver. Assuming a right-handed shooter, this will go off to the left side of the weapon. Alright, so if my front section's done, I'm going to snug up that. And then I'm going to separate that from the rear section. So this tri-glide here, we're going to undo that, pull our tubular webbing out of that, pull it out of our ladder lock up front. All right, let's get rid of that guy. We don't need that right now. All right, going back, you'll see I have this yoke that I need attached to the stock, kind of roughly in that fashion, like so. So I'm going to first undo this 1-inch webbing here, pull it out of the tri-glide, undo that, pull it out of this sternum slider, pull it out of the webbing loop. Alright, so you'll see I've got this short section of webbing with a tri-glide sewn to the end. This, flip this guy over, this is going to go through the slot at the back of the stock. So I slide that through there, and I'm going to pull that tight so that that tri-glide is snugged up against the end of the stock. Now, traveling around, flip it over. I'm going to take the far end of the sling here. It's got this sewn loop. I'm going to run my webbing through that loop. This is going to land alongside the stock just under this ledge running along here. And then I'm going to run the rest of it through the thumb hole, like so. Flip it over. You'll see I've got some elastic keepers here. I'm just going to keep them right there. And I'm going to get some slack in my sternum slider. Okay, so you'll notice this piece of hardware, it's got slots on either end running this way, and then it's got a slot through the center here running this way. So I'm taking this short webbing, running it through that horizontal slot, running it all the way through again so that this lands kind of alongside the ledge in the stock there. I'll run it through the tri-glide at the other end, both of those slots. Okay, and then I'm going to double back through that same tri-glide. Pull that nice and tight. I want this all snugged up real good. Double back, and then again back through the sternum slider here. I'm going to capture that free end so it's all tucked away. You shouldn't see any of it sticking out. It's totally concealed, and then I pull my tubular webbing snug across the top of it. Now we can flip over, running this back, and I'm going to reconnect my front quick adjust section with the rear section. Run that through the hardware there. Secure it with the tri-glide here. Okay, so this is going to be my sizing here. Running this tri-glide up or down, right, to give me slack or to tighten up a little bit. I'm going to size that to my body, and then I would recommend just trimming this and cutting and fusing the end once you've got the sizing figured out. This front section here, my quick adjust, this stays the same. So to loosen it, I'm pulling on the tether. That gets me slack. And then to tighten it, I'm hooking my thumb in the big loop here. And that snugs it up. Okay, stowage mode for this sling. So you can see I'm going to pull this flat, tight along the side of the stock. I'm going to come up over the butt, and as we come back around, you can see that as I pull this tight, I can fold this up and run it through these elastic keepers. Okay, and this is going to allow me to stow the sling so it's kept kind of flat with the sides of the weapon. It's meant to mirror the profile of the weapon as closely as possible, and then additionally retain control of it. So I can still get a firing grip. I can access my selector switch here. I can get behind the sights. I can get a sight picture. I can access the charging handle. I can access my magazine release. I can load the weapon, change magazines, all that stuff. And then when I need to deploy the sling, I can just grab a free end of it there and pull that tight. And now I've got my sling deployed and ready to put into use. So that is the Zulu Nylon Gear P90 sling.